Hello everyone, welcome to our channel Cryptoknowlogy. In this video, I will explain you about Euro CBDC which is coming. Governments all over the world are rushing to introduce their central bank digital currencies or CBDCs before their physical fiat currency collapse as trust in the current physical financial system continues to decline. The European Central Bank ECB, which has been leading the charge in this area, recently published a working paper about the forthcoming digital euro that describes how CBDCs would function. Now the first is digital payments. The first part of the paper provides a bit of background about the digital payment. The authors of the paper immediately identify the three things central banks are afraid of, which are fintech companies, big tech companies, cryptocurrencies. Central banks are afraid of these entities because they are quite literally disrupting the existing financial system. As far as central banks are concerned, the only solution is a central bank digital currency, which the authors note would result in quote abrupt and potentially irreversible changes to the financial system. The authors then detail the three things the working paper will focus on. First is the economics of CBDCs. Second is the implications CBDCs would have on the financial system. Third is the challenges associated with a CBDC rollout. Now the next is digitization of business. The second part of the paper explores the quote digitization in business and payments, and it covers all the factors that have given rise to CBDCs. The first factor is the gradual shift of economic productivity from the physical to the digital, meaning that more and more money is being made by goods and services that are available partially, if not wholly, online. The authors note Google, Amazon, and Facebook as easy examples here. The authors highlight data as a core component of this first mover advantage. Companies that have been around for longer have a lot more data about the user and consumer behavior. This gives them an edge that new companies will take years to get. This is the rationale behind the Digital Markets Act that was recently passed by the European Union, as it focuses on data sharing and transparencies by big tech companies, including the new competitors in the industry that currently dominate. Now the next is why central banks want CBDCs. The first reason is one that all central banks love to throw around that the central bank money is the safest form of money. The second reason why central banks want CBDCs is monetary sovereignty. A CBDC would make it possible for governments to prevent foreign currencies from competing with their national currencies. If you are wondering why governments and central banks don't like this currency competition, it's because it would fundamentally force them to act more responsibly with their spending and printing, which most governments and central banks don't want to do because it benefits them and their friends. Now the next one is CBDC and monetary policy. The fourth part of the paper pertains to how CBDCs would impact monetary policy, which some of you will know is everything the central bank does, namely raising and lowering interest rates, creating money out of thin air for the government, commercial banks and the buddies. The authors of the paper start by going over some research that suggests commercial banks could get squeezed by a CBDC. This is partially because there would not really be a need for them, and partially because most people would opt to keep their CBDC holdings directly at the central bank for safety reasons. The author seems to suggest that a solution would be to just have commercial banks compete by raising interest rates offered on CBDC deposits. Now the next one is CBDCs and financial stability. The fifth part of the paper talks about the implications a CBDC would have on financial stability. The authors begin by throwing shade at commercial banks with sentences such as quote bank raise funds in the form of demandable deposits and invest them in liquidity and risky assets. There is a concern that a CBDC would increase the risk of bank runs, as during a time of crisis, everyone would rush to convert their cash into a CBDC, or so the central bank says. The authors continue building on the idea that the introduction of a CBDC would inspire commercial banks to increase risk-taking to maintain their profitability. Now the next one is CBDC policies. The sixth part of the paper concerns the policy around the adoption of CBDCs, including how central banks intend to convince you and to use their digital currencies. The authors comments by commending the Bahamas and Nigeria for being the two countries roll out their respective central bank digital currencies while acknowledging that a CBDC might not be appropriate for every country or region. Others then make a bold claim, and that's quote, there is no regulatory alternative that promises to eliminate the threat to the two-layer monetary system, since cash is only available in physical form. It is by construction not fit for the digital age. An admission is so significant that it made crypto headlines because cryptocurrency provide an alternative to the current monetary system the central banks are trying to preserve. Others advise that, quote, public policy must act decisively and in a forward-looking manner, meaning they must crack down before crypto adoption takes off. This is the end of our video. If you want to know more about cryptocurrency, you can visit our website cryptoknowlogy.com. Link in description. Thanks for watching. Kindly subscribe our channel.